Talking about special. First time here, second time first, then second, third, first. You've had amazing success here, never been off the podium. What is it about Mirinda Carfrae and this place? Yeah, knock on wood.
Yeah.
What is it about this race and you that work so well together?
I just love this race. I get off the plane here in Kona, and I think there are a lot of athletes that get off the plane and they sort of think, holy crap, I've got to do a marathon, I've got to do an Ironman in these conditions. And I get off the plane and I feel like I'm at home. This is Queensland weather.
Exactly.
In summer. So, and haven't been in Australia much. I've been in the US a lot. So it feels like a homecoming almost. And the course is great for me. Salty swim, non-wetsuit. Believe it or not, I swim better in non-wetsuit swim than I do in a wetsuit swim. And then it's a fair race. There's no cheating out there on the bike. The marshals are on you. It's very easy to see the 10 meters because the cat eyes on the road are exactly 11 meters apart. So, you just don't ride within those cat eyes. It's easy for the refs to pick people who are trying to get an easier ride. So I don't know. I think it's a fair race. It's a tough race. It's a hot race, which is always in my favor, I think, coming from Australia. And also I just get excited for the biggest stage.
And, you came over here for first time in 2007. You went second, first, fourth, first. I mean, so reflections on your favorite moments from if this turns out to be your last time racing here as a pro.
Yeah, I think my first year here, just having never been here to see the race and watched it on TV so many times. Having been a short course racer, I never had met Norman and Peter and a lot of those guys.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and so to get to meet those guys that I'd only ever read about or seen on television, and just the whole atmosphere here, it's unique. It's unlike anything I'd ever experienced in my sporting life. So, the first year here is a fond memory, and obviously the first win here, it's something you dream about. And I think even as time passes, it feels surreal that I was able to win here, It
almost seems like it's somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're in the moment, you're so focused, and you feel it's kind of like your job, and you're just doing what you're supposed to do. But it's a huge honour to qualify to race here, to win here. It's just special. I would love to tell you what it feels like, but I can't. I've heard Norman and a few others say the same thing. It's just so hard to put into words what it means to you personally and to your family. But it's a huge honour, and as you get older, you reflect more on these things. I know when I won the first time, I did enjoy it, but I was also focused on trying to win again, and then trying to cash in on those commercial opportunities. And there's not a lot of time to bask in it. You're just straight on to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So, I've got so many fond memories here, and I'm going to come back for years just to watch and to support and to work with my sponsors. It's a magical week.
What was the best race that you've ever had?
I think it was probably my first Kona.
Yeah.
Because it was less than a year after I'd done my first professional Ironman.
2009.
I was pretty much self-coached. I had a cycling coach, and I was green, and I turned up here, and I almost psyched myself out of the race. I had so much respect for these names that I'd just read about. I was racing against Leander Cave and Chrissie and Bella Bayliss.
Yes.
And these were people I really looked up to and had just read about. And I was like, I just don't know. Am I going to...
Do I fit?
Yeah. Will I be able to compete against them? And when I rolled into T2 and fourth off the bike, and I was like, what?
Where is everybody?
And I was almost pinching myself then, and I ended up sixth, and nothing will ever replicate that feeling I had running down the finishing chute, because I was like, oh my God, I'm sixth. I couldn't really believe it. It was kind of... it was confirmation that I could make a living. Well. Yeah.
My tactic going in was, if I had the engine at the end, and I was confident at the end that my unsightly form would work on the backside of Palani Hill on the downhill, and I really wanted to run quickly on that backside of the hill and carry it all the way down to Lee Drive, which is about 1.4 miles when you're at the top. I knew exactly, and I thought it's a long enough runway with a long descent, a hard pounding descent, that if I could make my move at that point, I could get away from Mark.
Yeah.
And that was really my tactic. And as the race unfolded and we were together, I had dropped back at an aid station, had come all the way up. This was between mile 23 and 24, and I'm looking at the backside of Polani Hill. And everyone who's run this course knows that, you know, when you're riding your bike up that hill, it doesn't seem like anything, but at that point in the race, it becomes significant. Yes. And that little gradient, it goes up right away. And as I got next to Mark, I actually remember telling myself, you know, just relax. At the top, you're going to take off. And I had about 5 seconds to tell myself to relax, and
he's gone.
Mark is doing something else, so you better respond.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, we had been together, and there were a lot of points out on the marathon where Dave was really pushing it, and I didn't know if I could hang on, and you know, a lot of things happened for me personally out there, and finally. It became apparent that the move was going to take place on that hill, either going up or on the other side going down. And I had seen that as we were coming up to just the lesser upgrades, that it seemed like Dave was getting just a little bit weaker. On the downgrades, he was definitely stronger than me. And so I thought, okay, there's one last big up and one last big down. If I wait until the top of that hill, he's got it. He will have it. And so at the bottom of that hill, something just said go, and I took off. And I knew that it had to be more than a few feet, because, you know, from hour 6 till the end of that race, that's Dave's territory. Yeah. You know, if you were even in the same zip code, he knew he had you. And so I just sprinted up the backside of the hills as best as I could, and then just prayed all the way down the other side that I didn't cramp or stumble or fall apart or whatever. And I got to the bottom and looked back, and I couldn't see him. And at that point, I just felt like, yeah, I think I have it, you know.
So you come back from Club La Santa,
Yeah.
and you had told this boy that you liked that you were a triathlete, so now you had to become a triathlete.
Yeah, because we were actually living next door in Denmark, so that was the problem.
You were living, I didn't
know
him before,
no,
but you guys were right next door to each other.
Exactly, and there's only one triathlon club in the city where we're from.
Yes.
And he was just like, I haven't seen you before in the club. That's really weird.
Yes.
So I had to sign up. As soon as I got home, I had to get myself road bikes to put in my apartment to show him that I was a triathlete.
Right.
So I got a bike from one of my good friends, bought it cheap, got it in the living room for the first meeting there with him.
So you hadn't ridden it at all?
No.
And now, you hadn't ridden the bike at all?
No. But then I started.
Then you started riding?
Yeah.
And he was a pretty good triathlete?
Yeah.
And how long was it before you were a better triathlete than he was?
Actually, Klaus is really competitive. He was a former professional windsurfer.
Yeah.
And then he started triathlon and got good really fast. But as soon as he get to a proper level, he just quit. You know, so I think I beat him after, let's just say, a couple of weeks.
After a couple of weeks. So then he went from being a triathlete to being your
bike bitch.
Bike bitch.
Yeah.
Basically, so he travels around and takes care of your bike, makes sure everything's done. So he went from being an athlete and you were a gal he met in a bar in Club La Santa to you becoming a professional athlete,
yeah,
and him becoming your bike bitch.
Exactly. And he will probably tell you that he's the one getting me into triathlon. He's the
Yes.
Which it's kind of true,
yeah.
But also getting me to where I am today.
Yes.
Yeah. So we also have to say thank you, Klaus, sometimes.
Of course.
Yeah.
But my specialty was the 40-second, minute and a half, minute 20-second. That was my specialty.
So this was pretty easy transition then, going from 40
it
seconds
was seamless.
to 9 hours.
Completely seamless.
9 hour or so race.
I went from, it's completely seamless.
No big deal.
Yeah.
How tough was it?
It's still tough. I'm not going to lie to you. And I have the best, I got the best coach in the entire business, in the industry.
8-time Ironman world champion, Paul Huddle.
But I'm glad you think that.
Thank you for your honesty. Very nice. It's been a huge transition and a huge, it's been a struggle. I don't have a problem dialing it back. I just have no idea how to gauge my energy levels because I'm so used to depleting all ATP, all energy in such a small amount of time.
Right.
And now I have to say, okay, there's different steps.
it's just different.
I have to pace myself. I have to
Pace myself.
think. You have to think,
Yeah.
right? You're thinking
Yeah.
about nutrition rather than
Yeah.
just going.
Yeah, you have to think. That's an issue.
It is an issue,
Yeah,
right?
especially when you're out
Thinking
there.
and
It's so
nutrition.
hot. Yeah. It's,
What was the biggest shock in your first triathlon?
well, my first triathlon, I did a half Ironman in Boise.
Yeah.
Way to start off with an easy distance.
Yeah, I thought I'd just jump right in there.
Sub 5, by the way.
Did sub 5,
Yeah.
which I had no idea what that meant. But I just know that Paula was like, "You better move. If you go over 5, I'm not talking to you." Basically, I was like, "Wow, this could end. This could end. This could end early."
This could end a beautiful relationship.
Yeah.
I think anybody who says it's easy has never done the last hour of an Ironman. It's about the most terrifying thing I've ever done. And I actually looked at it the other day on TV, and it's amazing how quickly you forget too. Like in that last hour, you could have handed me a private jet and a villa on the beach here, and I said, "Thank you guys, have it. Give it to someone else," you know? But then as soon as you finish and you get in the whole vibe, you're like, "Oh, this is so cool." For some reason, it's totally bizarre, and it's like you say, it's when you come from that sort of speed. It's amazing when you're running 29 minutes for 10 Ks, you're hurting a lot, but when you stop at the finish line, it's over. You know, your lungs come back, and 3 minutes later, you feel like, "Oh, I could have pushed that last K." There's no way you could have gone any faster, but a few minutes later, you feel good again.
Yeah.
In that last hour of the marathon, you can run 5 minutes, you can run 3 minutes per K. Sorry, I'm still thinking in Ks.
Yeah, that's all right. That's good.
And it hurts just the same. It's whatever you do, it just it hurts. It really does, and it becomes a mind game. And there's so much more mental, capacity that you need to sort of push yourself to that last little bit to squeeze it all out. That makes the big difference. So that's what I found it to be really challenging and really exciting.
It obviously felt different. No one expected more of me in 2008 than I expected of me. So I placed a lot of pressure on my own shoulders that I hadn't placed on my shoulders the year before. The year before, all I wanted to do was just go out and do my very, very best. And that didn't change in 2008. That's still the way I felt. But you're very cognizant of the fact that you are capable of winning that race. Exactly. And I wasn't aware of that in 2007. And I was acutely aware that, you never take that win for granted, but that you're very, very capable of winning, and it puts that additional pressure on. But I think when that gun goes off, that pressure almost dissipates, and it's, it's down to business. It's
back to reality.
Absolutely. And you're very much, you're very much in the moment. So I think the pressure that you feel is in the run-up in the days, even the week before. I think actually when you're treading water, that almost dissipates. And then you're getting to work.
Love it.
And you stay in the moment. Every swim stroke, every pedal stroke, just getting the most
out of everything.
Out of yourself.
So I had a little bit of conversation with all the island gods and Pelé, and so
make a little deal with them. Say, listen.
Yeah, that they could get used to me, that I'm a nice guest on their island, and
and you'd be a good champion and would represent them.
Yeah.
What would it mean to you to win this race?
It's a big question. If I say everything, then it's difficult because there are also other things in life,
Sure.
But I think pretty much maybe 90% of my life is the sport,
Right.
It's not like a normal job where you go home and just like switch it off, It's 24/7. Everything you do is influencing your performance. So everybody knows what it means here to win, and it's a lot.